and a little bit late. And we're doing this because of a couple of different things. Number one, I had some technical issues on my end. I think I've confused not only myself, but the live software. So we're going to let Wendy and Craig join on in here. Brent, it's good to see you. Let me get Craig in here, and then I will get
It's good to be
Wendy
here. I didn't think I was going to make it. Oh, look at this. We have 4 windows and everything.
Dude, this is gonna be so good. We're gonna be so legit.
Now, when everybody shares their screen, I'm dying to see what that looks like.
Well, I think we already talked through it from a production standpoint. We're gonna be too legit to quit. And do we drink for music stuff?
Not for that one.
I am so happy to see Craig's nonverbal, because it matches exactly what I think it is in my head when I feel this disturbance in the force. And Craig is like, kinesthetic learning styles.
And hi, Wendy.
Hey, Wendy.
Hello. It looks like my video has frozen again. So give me 2 seconds to turn it off and turn it back on, and we'll see if we can get it working. If not, then I'll just leave it off.
So what I'm going to ask you to do is leave it on, even if it's frozen, just because from a production standpoint, it's going to help me do my job a little bit better.
You don't want to mess up Mike trying to produce this.
Dude, like seriously, like this is I had a football coach who had a phrase about how he described how we looked on the field, and it was about monkeys and a football and doing some kind of act. And I won't share the details beyond that, but yeah, that's me with the technology here as we go through that. So there we go.
I won't touch it. So you won't see me, but I won't touch it because that'll just make it easier.
So the way that we're going to make this work is we're going to have a couple of different frames where we'll see video of the people who are participating in it. And Craig and Wendy, thanks for being the first participants in this. If we get this to work right, and we want to do it again, then our plan is going to do this once a month, or at least once every 6 weeks, possibly once a month, as we go through it and go from there. So we're going to have a screen, and I'm going to play the role of crackpot producer, throwing up the stuff that Craig and Wendy are working on. And potentially, yeah, well, that I might make Craig throw up. Again, it's just awesome to have him here in real time. We're gonna work through a challenge. I've got ChatGPT set up to give me a random challenge. Again, this could go horribly wrong, but that's the beauty. We're testing things. Yes, Craig.
I couldn't find the hand raise button. Anyway, I do have to preface by saying that I've put text into my personalization. Does that affect this at all?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't think so. And if it does, that's something we can talk about.
That's what I was going to say. So do you want me to share it now or wait till after?
It's an experiment. This is all an experiment. We're all learning together.
All an experiment.
It's more whether
learning together.
It's more whether I share it before you guys give me the prompt or after.
What would you like to do, Craig?
I think it'd be better after, because then we'll see what the differences are, and then I can show that, and that might be why.
Then why'd you?
And I can actually say too, so that'll be a good comparison, because I am using a brand new, never touched, never used Copilot version. So this is from scratch. So I will probably have to be more prescriptive than you will be, because your system knows you where this has no idea.
Cool. That's an excellent. That makes for an excellent experiment to have a what do they call that? A test. What's the neutral
control group?
Control group. Thank you. Yes, more coffee for Brent.
So give me just one more second. Any APIs? If somebody could go out onto LinkedIn, Brent, and just comment on the live event, if it's out there, and just say, hey, this is where the new event is, because I couldn't see who registered for the other one. Again, we'll work through the technical challenges. This is the
so this isn't even going to the event?
It was broken. Like it wouldn't let me to go live on that specific event. So now we're going live. The only reason that you are here, so Wendy, Craig, and I, this is a little bit how the sausage is made. Wendy, Craig, and I were in a room separately, in this other room, the live event room separately, and you weren't in that room. When we went back to the Brent and Mike room, then you were in the room. So we're in the Brent and Mike room for today. And
I responded to the live and put the new link in there.
cool. Awesome. Craig, thank you.
Thank you, Craig.
All right. So I've got ChatGPT set up to do a quick hackathon test, and we're going to do this thing live. This could go horribly wrong. So let me share first, and then we'll move from here. If this does not work, if we don't like it, then we'll modify stuff. And this is why Craig says I should script.
I was going to say, are you saying we're going off script?
We don't even have a script. We can't go off script if we don't have a script. That's the beauty of not scripting, Craig. You can't go off script if you don't have it.
We're going on the off script.
All right. Are you guys able to read that?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Okay. Let me
Let's
do this.
expand a little bit.
Actually, it needs to go the other way. Oh, there you go. Or center, one of the two.
So that is our challenge for today.
Yes.
So are we getting the prompt or are we making our own prompts?
You get to choose your own adventure here.
Challenge 1.
So this is what we want to do.
All right.
Can you still slide it a little more to the left? It's hard to read the
Maybe
words.
can you cut and paste that into the LinkedIn comments or something so everybody sees what challenge we're doing?
Or Slack would be great.
Everybody able to see this?
Well, I'm not in Slack, but I can see that. Yeah. I mean, if somebody does watch the stream, it would be kind of cool for people to see it, but I guess they could see it here too. So on the video. Okay.
It grabbed the wrong stuff. So hold on. So everybody sees this in here?
Yes.
Okay.
So really that could be the objective could actually work as a prompt.
All right, that is in Slack. Everybody got this?
I still need to see this screen because I don't have Slack open.
Okay.
Man, you went right to the hard thing first.
No kidding. I was reading this going, what is the deliverable?
I know. Wait. Maybe we should have started with something a little bit more easier, like make a caricature of yourself in whatever the image platform is.
What do we think? Do we want to come up with a different one?
Well, let's just see how far we get with this. Let's just go for it and just see. So here's what I would do. And then maybe we can go around the horn. Honestly, I'm going to cut and paste the objective in as the prompt and roll with it and see what it comes back and says.
And just for clarification, so everybody knows, Brent, what system are you using?
Oh, I'm on the Gemini. Thank you, Wendy.
And Craig is on.
I think he's our chat GPT here.
Craig is in ChatGPT, and
He's already working. He's in work mode.
He jumped right in.
He's so focused. Share your screen, Craig. Come on.
I already did.
It is.
Oh.
That's what was up there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm going to mute because y'all are going to be able to hear me type. So
Perfect.
how long do we want to give this first round of work mode for?
Let's just go. Let's just roll with it, and then
Yeah, we don't care if we hear your
talk
typing.
through
It's okay.
back and forth.
No, they said they don't like it. They told me to mute. So I have
Oh.
to mute.
All right. Well, but yeah, when you hear us say, "Hey, Wendy," then turn it back on. and Mike and I will just banter and watch. So, okay. So Mike, explain to me what we are looking at here. The large screen, that is Wendy's screen or Craig's screen?
That's Craig's screen.
And then the mini screen, that's the challenge.
I've got the challenge. I'll take it off the screen. I've got the challenge in Slack. I can text you. Do you want to put the challenge in on your side, or do you just? Or are
Yeah,
you
might
gonna,
as well. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
all right.
you know?
I'm gonna send this to you via email.
Yeah, that's a better way to do it
What's
because I'm not
your?
in Slack. So
So I will get that over to you.
that's called chunking.
Yeah, like how, well, I did tell it to pretend that I didn't know anything about AI. So
Okay. Hey, that's a good way to go.
that was the second. That was the iteration, because what it gave me first was actually a pretty good building for an app to actually take a text file or a chunk of text, as you mentioned, and break it down, and then give me short summary, detailed summary, quiz generator, and key concept extractor. It also gave me a mini study plan as an option as well. So it basically built an app for me that will take that information and do that through connecting into an AI, it looks like.
How to
And
make it
then,
less amateur.
right. And then I had it iterate based off of making more of an overview so I could understand it and see it in practical terms, but also pretend that I know nothing about AI. So it would feed me a little bit smaller portions of food.
Yeah, well, so one chunk at a time. So here's a question I have as you're going through and doing this. Keep doing what you're doing, but when I'm working through this kind of stuff and I see it say, I'm going to build you an app or whatever, in normal human, speak, is that it looks to me like it's building a web app, not like a mobile app like we know apps, like apps on your iPhone or apps on your Android. It's
Yeah,
creating a website basically.
it's right, using Streamlit for creating it. So, and it's calling OpenAI as the basically the compiler. So it's running. It's got script for Streamlit. Streamlit's pulling from OpenAI, and then whatever
And
your
for
prompt
those who
is.
don't know, what is Streamlit?
Oh, it's just a site where you can do what you said, build basically an app that's
So
SaaS based.
is it a free service? You have to take all of this code here, these HTML files, and upload them to Streamlit, or is this automatically doing that for you?
So I've not used Streamlit before. I just know what it is, but you can copy the code and do it. So I would have to do some research on that. See, so just baseline, your prompt that you gave, I would have just built a notepad or notebook LM for this, because I mean, your prompt is really like, hey, I need to do this, and notebook LM will do that perfectly. In fact, you could even have it do the things that you've requested them to do and probably get a nice output in PDF. I don't know. Does
Let's try it.
LM do PDF? Okay.
Let's try it. Let's pump this thing into Notebook LM.
Well, so the problem with Notebook LM would be you'd have to have that works off of that data. So if you don't have the text or the text document to put in there, then it's really just going to be a shell.
Right. So really what this prompt is asking us to do is to build the app that goes and creates from some sort of content, learning content. So you're going to put in, once you're all done, they're going to put in the content, the big PDF file or course notes or something like that. And then you're going to run this thing and it's going to create something based on that content input.
Your prompt literally has us building another Notebook LM.
So if it was the Mike Simmons GPT, it would be like, dude, just use Notebook LM. You don't need to do this. Let me share. Let's move over to Wendy's screen for a minute here, and share hers, and drop Craig's out. Wendy, how are you coming along? And you may need to come off mute.
Yeah, so I'll go back up to the top so you can see some of this, because the way that I'm going to hit enter before I forget. So the way that I did this is very different than y'all, because y'all copy pasted, but I was very prescriptive.
Mm.
So I told it exactly who I want it to be. And then I went into, some of the summary of what was in the context without actually saying exactly the copy paste, right, of what we're trying to accomplish. What are our objectives? What are our goals? And potentially what I want to use, which is Lovable. So that's a vibe coding app, right? I think we're all familiar with that, but if you're not, and then I want it to provide a simple app with a notebook interface. And then these are the requirements. So from there, it allowed me to, and then I asked it specifically to ask questions before continuing. I pretty much tell it that all the time because it will just do, and I don't want it to do yet. We haven't refined. You can get my analytical brain here going. So
That's awesome.
So then, it talks about, okay, well, here's your target environment and stack, but that doesn't really make any sense. So do you really want this to be a browser only web app or a local desktop, or I don't even know what this is, a Jupyter style notebook interface? I don't even know what that is. Y'all correct me on the language.
I have no idea. They probably pronounce it Jupiter. They just spelled it different in order to get the URL.
Thank you. Okay, reading in between the lines. See, analytical brain here. All right, so then we go into external APIs, local modes, right? Ask me some refining questions. Another refining question, what kind of features and depth do you want? What do you want your input handling to be? What are your UI expectations, user controls, so on and so forth. So then I answered those questions, and now I'm to the next step, which is, okay, if we use me, right, Copilot, and remember this has no scripting, so he doesn't know me. I say he. All my AIs are he's, by the way. As the brain, that cannot be fully offline, right? So there's restrictions in what I provided previously. So that's where I'm at so far as I continue through talking to it like I would, an employee, as we talk out, anything that we're building together.
So want to say hello to a couple of people. Katie, I see you in the comments on LinkedIn. Thanks. How do you join the Slack? Send a direct message to Brent and me and via LinkedIn, and I'll send you the link for you to be able to join into the Slack. It's great to see you. And then the LinkedIn user asked about Streamlit. I think we answered that question. So Katie, send that note and we'll get you into the Slack channel. Craig, how are you coming along? And you were muted, I think. Yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know, Brent, if you can.
I bumped the mic, bottom of my mic
there
again.
There you go.
Mics do not like getting bumped.
No. Well, this one's made to do that. I just put it in, went to Streamlit just to see what it was. And I again, I've never played with it. I just know that it's out there. I haven't actually tried anything yet, so I'm not sure how it's going to work at this point. I think this is built to call to Streamlit. It looks like it's bringing Streamlit in and then bringing the AI in to do that as well. So I think I have to build it in something else, and it calls in Streamlit. So I'm not sure. Again, I would have to do a little bit of research, but that kind of brings me to my points of my personalization. So my personalization is basically I have put some custom instructions in there. That my custom instructions are: tell it like it is, don't sugarcoat responses. Adopt a skeptical questioning approach, treat me like I'm an expert and I'm willing to do the research. So that's why I probably got a little more technical. I put my occupations and more about me. I'm an expert. I am a skeptical. I do research. So that's kind of the things I've added to my ChatGPT to generally change things around. And then obviously my history is going to affect it as well. I think that, again, if I was handed this prompt, I would probably just go into Notebook LM and just use it for this. But I'm curious to see, I might later on see if I can figure out how to put this code into something that pulls it in and sets it up for me. But I'll have to do a little research on that. Actually, let's do that.
I'd love, one of the things I think is super cool that's come up in this is the whole getting it to ask questions, like reminding, hey, don't assume, ask a freaking question.
Yeah,
And
I love that.
so often we screw that up when, Brent and I were talking about it a little bit earlier on the live show, the onboarding and hiring process. We forget, we don't empower or enable our teams to ask questions. Remind them that, hey, look, it's as a leader of self, asking questions, being curious is super important. So ask those questions, because assumptions are not good. There's an acronym I think associated with that. But that this prompting of asking questions, and I can tell you, I have not ever put that in any of the GPTs that I've created. I've never said, ask, don't just do, ask some questions, clarify before moving forward, that kind of stuff. So that's a change that I'm going to make.
Yeah, I did it one time, and when it was a very specific task I was doing, and I was borrowing something from somebody else that I saw what they did, and it had that statement at the bottom. But yeah, I haven't done it since, and I haven't like made it a habit. But it is that is a great way to go about doing it. I think for more complex stuff, I'll do it. But lately, I've only been doing the executive producer, super simple stuff.
Katie,
And
welcome
by the way,
the
sorry. Oh, is Katie in there?
Yeah, Katie, welcome to the Slack channel. I'm gonna send you a note into the place where we've got some of the conversation going for this one. And what we'll do is we'll have different channels for each week of work that we're doing, or each week of discussions. And now you're seeing the week of February 16th.
That's from the lives, and that should we have separate Slacks for these, or just for the same week?
I think we just use the same link for
let's
the
not
week and just have the
overcomplicate
week
it.
stuff go through. I mean, as you could tell, anytime we add additional variables, it creates complexity. Complexity creates challenges.
Well, here, let me create some complexity for you then. Is there any possible way on the production side in Restream that you can put the name banners up on all of these streams, so we know whose video stream we're watching and who's who in all of the boxes and all that kind of stuff?
That is outside of my current capabilities. I think so. We'll
look
at that.
So, go ahead.
We now have an opportunity. We now have an opportunity to level up the next time we do this. So
thank you for giving us that opportunity to level up, Mike.
that was nice. I'm going to switch over to Wendy. Let Wendy share Wendy's screen here for just a second. And Wendy, we're live on your screen again.
Thank you. So what you'll see all the coding, right? So, specific to what we have talked about wanting to create, which is an app, right? That'll do like Notebook LM, right? We determined that it was about the same as Notebook LM. I went through and answered additional questions, and it's still recommending Jupyter. I guess we'll call it that. And then I was very specific on the fact that I've never used Jupyter. So it would be fine as long as it could walk me through all of those specific steps. And I, said I didn't use Python. I don't know coding, right? So I gave it very specific scripting on I've never done this before. And what does that look like? So after it wrote all the code, now we get into that. Okay, yeah, maybe, but by the way, I'm also on a Mac. I need explicit instructions on how to do this. So, it goes into some more questions. My first question was would it work on a phone? So yes, there we go. I've got one of my requirements listed, build in Jupyter, turn it into a simple web app, use on phone. You don't need to decide that today. We'll start building the notebook first. So then from there, now I have my step-by-step instructions, and I can go where it tells me to go. But it does tell me I need to download Python 3.x, for whatever version it is for Mac OS. Open the PKG file. So it's very specific on what needs to occur in order to create this quote unquote app. Questions?
So freaking cool.
Very cool. I'm responding to folks in the LinkedIn chat, and
And if you want to play along and want access to the challenge specifically, let us know. We can get you into the Slack instance, and then you can take a look, and you can go through and work through the challenge on your own, on your side, and let us know how it's working. This working out loud, working together, building together is, as we all know, as people who are in the learning space, we understand the importance and the power of doing it. Craig, how are you doing on your side?
Not so good.
All right,
I went down a
perfect. So
rabbit hole.
now I'm going to start sharing Craig's screen, primarily because he said not so good.
No, I mean, again, I'm on the fly trying to figure out how to put that into Python. I used Python years and years ago, and I've just not touched it since. So I'm just going. Basically, what I did is I stepped it back and said, okay, let's start from scratch on Python. I've not used this before. I have, but I didn't want it to go down the wrong, route. And I have Python prompt up. Let's start from the beginning. So I got kind of confused by the whole thing that was set at, starting. And that's why I wanted to just try and do it on the fly. And, you're looking at the learning process on the fly.
And so that's the cool thing about this. Like literally, we've been at this with the technical difficulties and all that other kind of stuff. We've been doing this now for about 15 minutes since we turned the challenge on. And think about the progress that has happened. Did anybody go to the LMS to review their course on how to work through a hackathon so that they could be in a better position to do this kind of stuff?
Well, yes,
Brent, did you go take a look at the
your
LMS
prompt.
first?
Yeah, but Mike didn't put the prompt into a SCORM package and upload
That's
it
right.
into the LMS.
How are the learners going to learn if it's not in the?
How are people even going to find the prompt if they can't log into the LMS?
It just goes to show me, Mike, that you don't have an LMS.
I have a learning management system. It's all up in here. Like,
Hey,
I have taxonomy. We have taxonomies out the wazoo in
It's actually an LRS, what you're talking about, not an LMS.
Oh God. Well, okay then. Tactile learner.
All right. So what learning style should I apply for that one?
That's the one.
You see the blank look on my face, right?
I do. Yeah.
No, it's blank. We can't see anything.
We just know you're so deep into the challenge.
It's way deep. And I never thought in a million years you would start everybody off on such a complex challenge, Mike. But if we're going to jump into this, we might as well just go right into the deep end and just go for it.
Build a caricature of.
I was thinking all these stupid things just to warm us up, and you're like, no, build a learning app that has 4 different products that.
Well,
okay.
the first iteration of it, when I went in there and I was like, hey, build this thing out for a hackathon, and it's like a 48-hour hackathon kind of thing, and we're doing it in 25 minutes or in an hour. But the first one came back, build your app and have APIs set up to go do whatever. And I was like, let's simplify this, no APIs. and then it came back with another one, and when after we go through this, I have a special surprise for everybody that I'll share before we wrap up today. Dun, dun, dun. We need the sound effects. I know Craig.
Oh, they're coming. They are coming, much to the chagrin of Craig.
Craig, what do you got going on your screen?
They are coming.
I'm again trying to figure out how to do it. I guess I have to use it in the command prompt. I didn't realize that.
All right.
Yeah, I think am I having the same problem you are? So I can't even get Python to launch. The Python launcher actually won't launch on mine.
What's a command prompt?
So whenever you see CLI, the command line interface, that's what we're talking about.
Wendy, I've got your screen up. I
told it. Yeah, I told it that I couldn't get Python to work, so I needed another option. Maybe not use Jupyter.
Yep.
It says I can install Jupyter Notebook directly to my Mac, open it as a web page, right? Paste in the code, run the cells. it becomes my mini app. Then later I can turn it into a phone friendly option. So instead of going down the Python route, I have moved from, we have now turned this into phases, Mike. Phase 1 is create the content. Phase 2 is make it mobile ready.
Yeah.
So, it does talk about super simple, no jargon for installing everything, which I tried, but, as we're live and no time to fiddle, not going to have enough time to deal with that. And then the other option is widgets, right? So from drop down from a file upload. So I don't have a file to upload it. So I think I'm going to go with option 1, and that way it'll just re-put it out to me what it looks like. And then it also is very specific on which AI provider I want to use. Of course, I'm using Copilot, which is mainly for, most of the time it's for corporations, right, that use Copilot because they're in the Microsoft suite. But I'm trying to tell it to have Copilot. However, for this example, knowing that ChatGPT is probably the more open AI version, I may just do it as open AI.
Wendy, what is it that what do you like about Copilot?
I have to use it for work. No.
That was, to be honest, that was the first reason why when AI first became a thing, I was in an environment that had Copilot also. And that was why that was where I started as well. I don't have it anymore, so I don't have to worry about it. But now I'm on the Google world. But yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. And I do like it. So there are certain things that if I just want to talk things out, if you will, I will not go to Copilot. I am business minded when it comes to Copilot. Do I want to analyze something? Do I want it to run something? Do I want it to analyze my emails? Because it is all connected to the Microsoft suite. So that's very important for me in a workflow perspective, during the day for corporations. Now, when it comes to home stuff, this is my home computer. This is my own Copilot, caveat there. It's not my work computer, right? So, but, at the end of the day, this is not my go-to. My go-to would be ChatGPT because it has my brain in it, right? It's got everything brain dumped into multiple sections.
Awesome. Craig, how about you? Why ChatGPT? And I'm going to switch over to your screen here now too.
I think it's because, honestly, it was just the first one I got into. It had been around, obviously, the longest. So I think that sticking with something like that, where they're putting a lot of research and it's adapting, through time, it's, obviously one of the ones that's adapted the most at this point. So I think it's just more familiarity. But I think once I got comfortable enough with it and knew what the powers were behind it, I started using other ones just to try them. I don't think I found anything that I haven't liked yet so far. I think the powers of these things are incredible at this point, but I think that's why I stuck with ChatGPT, is because I just started that. And there is something to the idea of having, history in something. So if I was starting something new like Copilot or Gemini or something like that, I was starting from scratch. There was no history built behind, my prompts, and that couldn't look back on anything. So that's probably why I stuck with ChatGPT.
What's your feeling, both Craig and Wendy, about progress that you've made so far? And if I only gave you 3 more minutes to wrap up, where would you end today's work with the work that you've done? Let's just say, hey, for this scenario, we've already demonstrated some really cool things. It's like, hey, look, there's a couple of different ways to get the machine to start doing some of the machine things. There's some things that you want to put in place to help the controls in there to make it not get too far or go down a route. And there's some other stuff that will just pop up where, hey, it adds complexity. If you've got 3 more minutes left, how would you wrap up? Well, actually, you have 3 more minutes left in this challenge. How will you wrap it up? Okay. We're live and no script. Where we go, there are no roads. We need no roads.
Yeah, I can answer that first. So my goal is, while I'm talking to you and navigating and processing all at the same time, is to provide you with a what it would be, first build, right? A prototype.
Cool.
So it's going to ask me a couple additional questions. So we're going to go GPT for mini. Free. Free, free, free. They have to have their own GPT. Okay, so that's my goal, is to have an option. So there's my answer, and it's already, going down the rabbit hole. So I need to focus though. I'm gonna turn myself on mute.
Very, very cool.
That's awesome, Wendy.
Craig, how about on your side?
So I have built an app. I need to share my screen instead of my window though. So I am going to do what you said not to do and stop sharing.
Totally
And then I'm
fine.
gonna
It's just
share
gonna,
my-
it's just gonna make Mike have to produce differently, so he'll be fine. He'll figure it out.
I'll share my entire screen on this one. It's this one. Okay. So what I did is I plugged everything into the compiler and came up with where'd it go? Had a really cool, where'd it be?
Command prompt?
Oh no, I had it running. Where did it go?
Multiple command prompt windows, maybe?
Brent, how long do you think it might have taken to do this kind of stuff, like the stuff that we're talking about right now, and make the progress that we've made in 20 some odd minutes?
20 days?
3 years ago.
Plus? Yeah.
3 years ago. Like 3 years ago, what happened? Like at this point, we're still telling people, okay, the bathrooms are out the door and over to the left. There will be a break at whatever, like all of that kind of crap. Look at that. We got a smile out of Craig.
So let down.
Craig, I know you're always smiling in the background, even when I can't see you.
Yeah, I mean, I totally, you're right. I mean, that's the thing that is, I think, for those of us that love the experimentation and love the unknown and the where we're going, there are no roads sort of mentality. This stuff is what we live for, right? And it's like now we have all of these tools that can do this. But you're right. I mean, so let's just say, for any one of us, I can probably safely say that in order to get as far as we just got, each of us in 20 minutes, well, Craig and Wendy, and you and I just being here, we all would have had to have taken 6 months worth of courses on HTML, Python,
Yep.
whatever.
JavaScript, Python.
JavaScript,
coding.
yeah, we'd have to learn how to do it. We'd have to learn the back end. We'd have to pay for a whole bunch of web hosting sites and then figure out how to deal with where is the folder that you upload this to? Where do you upload that into? Okay, so you're going to have to learn the back end structures and systems and all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to have to figure out, okay, what do we want the user interface to look like? We're going to have to buy an app and learn that app to figure out how to just build the graphics to build the front end interface. Oh, and then we're going to have to figure out how to put those into CSS. Then we're going to have to figure out what CSS is, maybe beforehand even, and figure it all out. And then we're going to have to start building, and there'll be a trial and error process. If we're looking at it from a business perspective, you're going to have to first get funding to hire probably 6 different people to handle each one of the different tasks that, oh, by the way, we all just did together in 20 minutes.
And for the next meeting that we have, we're going to remind everybody about what we discussed the last meeting. I
forgot about all the meetings you're going to have. Yes, you're going to have a meeting about preparing for the meetings that you're going to have. And then you're going to have to hire somebody to manage the meetings and make sure that everything functions on time.
And how can we do it effectively if we don't have an agenda? And what happens to the people who don't read the agenda?
You can't possibly just have somebody give you a challenge and just do it. There's got to be.
Y'all saw where it went black there for a second?
Yep.
I freaked it out, right? I gave it too much to think about at one time. So it said, wait, I'm having a moment here. I call them brain farts. So it had a brain fart and it just all went black and I had to wait and not touch anything before it came back. I do that a lot, actually. I have to walk away because I can easily kill a processor. So
We were talking about that a little bit earlier, like the whole switching off the on and off switch around hunger, and then the application to are we over consuming information, and how do we keep people moving along? One of the cool things, we did not get everybody ready to learn today or ready to do. Like there was no, one of the things that I think was stressing people out, other than me, was the whole idea of, oh wait, there's no link to go into this thing, other than the link's not working for a little bit. But like there's no link. Oh, we don't have the prompt. What? Wait, where can I put all of this stuff? Like where's it all going to be? You want it all in this place. And here's the cool part. We can just do. I'm gonna pause everybody's sharing, and I'm gonna add back mine into the stream. And so here's the Smart Buddy challenge, or Smart Study Buddy challenge. This is the original one that was put in. What I did is I dropped the entire challenge into Claude. And it went through and
pre-did this, Mike.
What's that?
You pre-did this?
No, I did it while you guys were all working. Like literally, like I pulled up
Claude
the challenge.
exceptional.
I pulled up the challenge while we were on. Remember, I had to go back in and update the ChatGPT challenge. And I don't know if there's a timestamp on here. I had to update the ChatGPT challenge to not include any APIs, and did this just this. I don't have a timestamp, but I literally did it while we turn things on. Let me share this instead, so you could see where it was. So it was, hey, set these up, and then it came back with the API piece. So I said, don't include any APIs, because I thought that might be push things a little bit too far. Then I went in and I dropped it into Claude. The challenge, like copy paste the same thing that I put in the Slack instance. This is it.
Okay.
And then then it was like, all right, let's roll. I'm going to go ahead and build this thing for you. And it built everything over here on the right-hand side. Now, I haven't gone through and tested it to see how it works and all of that other kind of stuff. So that's having a little bit of fun with it. But all I did was take the challenge and put it in. So let's, my point with all of this, or at least on this piece, the thing I hope everybody kind of takes away from it, get out there and start using the tools, and you will be surprised about what you can do with the tools. Now, to the point that Wendy brought up and Craig has brought up throughout the conversation, when you use the tools, don't forget to ask questions and make the tools ask questions as they go through, because some things are going to work, some things are not going to work, and some things are going to, you're going to get stuck in different areas. And we want to pull things together. But I literally took the challenge and just threw it in to the tool, and it came out with a Smart Buddy app that allows me to change summary from short to detail to bold, do multiple choice short answers mixed, add in number of questions, like all of that in there in a copy and paste. And I just had to wait for it to think through its stuff while everybody else was doing their work.
So then that's, was that just Claude, or was that Claude Code, or all the different things that everybody's been hearing about?
Literally Claude. I opened up Claude and I put it into a chat. I said, I'm competing in a hackathon. That's exciting.
Is that what it said?
I mean, let's go. How could it be any more exciting than that?
You gotta love the motivation that you get from these things. I'm telling you.
Good luck. Okay. Good luck with the hackathon. What are you building, or is there something I can help you with? I said,
can you share my stream
and help me win? Like that's what I see.
Oh, that is too funny.
Craig, share his screen. Let's see what Craig's got.
Build out the following and help me win.
I basically went through everything that it instructed me to do, and it built in Streamlit my study buddy on Streamlit, and I can just enter text in now and do that. So
yeah, yours is prettier than mine. Yours is dark mode.
I clicked the wrong one. Hold on here just a second.
Okay, so let's get somebody find a PDF somewhere or something as some text and drop it in there, and let's see what happens.
I've got one. I just need to open it. Hold on.
I don't take notes anymore, so I don't have any.
So I have the it opens. Jeez. Theory of relativity by Einstein.
Perfect. Can you drop a PDF in? Will it read it, or do you have to select all the text?
I think I have to do it as text.
Yeah. That's all right. Looks like you just do it. Yeah. Command A, Command C, boom, you're good to go.
Yeah, my computer's just running really slow right now.
For those of you who are using a PC, that would be Control A.
Actually, I'm going to take just the first little bit because, again, it doesn't like a lot of text. So.
Oh, yeah, just part one would be cool. And if people are joining us late, I don't know how many people are on the stream, but, thanks for checking it out. We're going to do this every month, hopefully. And this was super fun. This turned out to be way better than I thought, man.
There you go.
See, we don't need scripts.
I knew we would have a good time, but
we need a little bit of creative thinking, and some people who are willing to take risks.
Yeah,
right? Willing to test things. Like this is.
Let me also just take this as a moment to give a super huge shout out and thank you to Craig and Wendy, because this would never have happened and gone so well without the two of you doing this. You're the best.
You are absolutely the best.
That's fun. Thank you for asking. So I'll say that I messed up in regards to telling it to use OpenAI, right? Because now it wants a key, right? So I have to give it an OpenAI key. And so unfortunately I did not follow directions. Like Mike said, not to use those types of things. So that would be the only thing that's restricting me from actually being able to show you an output is you can see here. So I pasted in my Einstein. So I went and found some Einstein.
Yeah, but it built it. That is super cool, Wendy.
And then, so I was very specific on the language I gave it, because depending on the educational level, you may not want something that goes into real deep study plans. So that's where I coded it to be K through 12, undergrad, master's, doctorate. Nice. So that way, if it was a child using it versus someone in college, an adult learner, it would also know the difference here. And then it gives me the models that GPT has, because that's what I was specific to. But in order to use this, I would actually have to paste in my own API. So in the future, I would get rid of this and just tell it generic, right? So nobody had to provide their information. They could just log in upon launch. That would be the appropriate option, is log in instead of API. And then I believe it would work.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think with me asking it to step back down and give me just an overview version of what it is, it really just backed it down to just taking notes on the text that's in there. So I think because I had backed off the original prompt, I put the original prompt in there. It gave me the code for that. I could probably back up and put the code that it gave me initially, and it would get a little more, of the input like what Wendy had. But yeah, I think that you're right, Brent. I want to just hammer home what you said, that 10 years ago, this would have taken 3 weeks for anybody to do anything on this, to have any concept of just code in general, let alone both of us just literally built a project in Python code. And I haven't used Python code in 15 years. So
yeah.
I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go off script for a second. And I say that.
Did you paste? Let's see how yours works.
So before we move on to I'm going to take mine, and I'm going to take a text file from a podcast recording that I did. Actually, I'm going to do it on building comp plans.
That's
so I just dropped in my text.
Subject, Mike.
I just dropped in my text. Short, multiple choice, and 5 questions.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. So, and from a prototype perspective, right? Because we always talk about minimal viable product, right? So in order to show our clients, so this would be a perfect example of a minimal viable product on this is what we can do. This is not the final product. This is not specific, but it took less than an hour to create. right? So how much time did you save by just having some kind of prototype?
It just gets us off the blank page challenge, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're an internal employee, this is fantastic. If you're a consultant that would have charged $30,000 for a project like this, you're lucky to get $300 from somebody who saw you build this in 20 minutes.
I think that's one of those challenges that's coming up right now. It's like, hey, what do I like? How is this going to completely change work? It's going to change work. How? Nobody freaking knows. How you choose to have it change your work is up to you. If you take control, if you demonstrate the right attitude and the right initiative, and go out there and start doing things, you can use tools like this to speed up your ability to deliver. And that's why I'm a big fan of project-based work rather than hourly or time-based work. Like and I think that's another part of this shift. But I just grabbed in a text file from a video that I recorded on comp plan design, and it nails these questions. So here's where things are a little bit off. Like Gunna, I don't know where that came through. Like there's some challenges that are in here that are wrong.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'll bet this isn't perfect,
right?
But this is the part where we tell people, yeah, there's going to be some mistakes that the AI is going to make, but you just have to go in and just review it. And this gets you, like we said this morning during the live stream, right? It gets you 60% of the way there. You still have to put in 40% effort to polish it up and to get it to that final product. But to Wendy's point, this is a fantastic MVP that still would have taken you 3 weeks to build if you were a coder and you knew how to do all of this stuff.
And look, Mom, I'm a coder now.
Yeah,
I feel like 60-40 might be generous. Maybe 80-20 on something like this. I think if you're talking about general, like just creating questions off of a piece of text or something, you're probably, like you said, 60-40 is probably where it's going to get you. But when you're talking about something like this, where you're talking about code and you're really going to go through a lot of iterations and have a lot of, go backs and, scope creep and stuff like that, you're probably doing 80-20. But like still what you said, 20% is still 20% you didn't have to do.
Right. I mean, it's just crazy. And it gives us, it totally changes everything. And yeah, don't even know much more needs to be said about that.
I know we had some, I think we had some hard stops here at the top of the hour.
I don't, but I'm good.
Any other thoughts or comments on all of this and just kind of the experience? Was this a fun thing to do? Should we do it again?
Yeah, it was great.
I want to see what your other prompts are.
I want to see what the next challenge is. Well, then now my question is...
I'm going to lay out a challenge. Here's the challenge, and I want everybody to do this. And if you do the work today and join the live stream tomorrow, we'll figure out a way to get you and your work into the live stream if you want. Think about a specific job that you do, a task that you do every day, or maybe a couple of times a week, that if it's repetitive, it's something that you're always going through. It could be like, I'll use a simple one for us that we do every week. We plan out our weekly meals. Just say, okay, this is what we're going to eat Monday through Sunday. Take a task. Use AI to speed up that task, to do that task for you. Outsource the thinking from you, the work from you, to the tool. Choose your own task. That task could be, I shared an example of meal planning for the week. Choose it for something else. Figure out something else to outsource. I shared a story this morning, long-winded one, around how we outsource show notes for the podcast, and a skill that I'm in the process of building, Claude, and was able to do that in a handful of minutes versus what a couple of years ago took me a bit longer to build out in ChatGPT. But here's the challenge. Take a task that you do, the repetitive task, use a AI tool of choice to help you outsource that task, and share your results tomorrow morning on the live show, and we'll give you some credit and recognition and all that other kind of stuff. You'll get a chance to share with folks. Any questions around that task? Like anything I need to add clarity around? Okay.
I don't think so, but I'd like to comment on something funny. So I told Copilot that I was having a hard time, right, with all the coding and and using HTML. You'll never believe what it told me to do.
Uh-oh. Can I share your screen?
Yeah.
There we go.
So it gave me options, right? But I chose the option to create a chat GPT. So that way it can be shareable, right? They can log in with their own GPT based off of my standards.
Yep.
Right. It wasn't a standalone HTML. And they are able to, build the GPT instead of an HTML file. No coding, zero setup, zero hosting, because it's all on them. And then I told it to go ahead and give me the script so that it's going to provide me with the instructions that I can put into the build, with all the specifications that we have already discussed in accordance with, my very specific instructions on the levels that I wanted, and so on and so forth.
Super freaking cool.
It's amazing.
Wendy.
So what's the big takeaway? But as we wrap up, I guess. Oh, did Craig already have to drop off?
I think so.
Yeah. Wendy, did you have a hard stop too?
No, I don't.
I think it would be fun to just talk real quick. Unless, Mike, do you need to wrap up?
I'm good for probably another 10 more minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So this is interesting, but again, like you kind of touched on this earlier, like what have we learned so far, sort of thing. But just as a wrap up, are there any other comments or things maybe Wendy you'd like to add as far as what we did here today?
I will add a few comments. So, as a learning and development design, right? I think a lot of times the lines get blurred between I'm creating SCORMs, I'm creating content packages, right, that go into an LMS or an LXP, whichever version you have.
Mhm.
And it's very specific to that one element, right? So in this use case, it was not quote unquote training, right, if you will, from an L&D perspective, but it was what L&D can do. And I think that right there is the, blow your mind, right, bombshell that a lot of people haven't truly crossed yet, is just because you've been in L&D for, 25 years, AI and all of these other tools give you more ability to do things that you never thought was possible. So I will share my study buddy. It is ready to go. It is done. I don't know if I reshare my screen, because I don't think, maybe, hold on, let me see. I think I shared the exact screen.
Oh,
Here
yeah.
it is.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
There's the PPT.
So let me move
Can
this
you add
out
a
a little
link?
bit.
Can you throw a link into the Slack channel before we?
When we're done, I will. So it's
Cool.
still creating it. It even created this. I didn't tell it to do that. I've
Great.
generated an initial profile picture for you, right? So I can come in here and say, what do I want to do? Here are my 4 options. Turn these notes into a medium summary or a quiz, make a 45-minute study plan, give me key concepts at master's level, or create a scaffolding quiz questions for these notes, because that's how I programmed it. So I'm going to say, we'll just go hard here and go with that one. And then I'll go back to the book version of Einstein. It's going to tell me what it can do. I'm just going to not say anything to it, paste in my notes, and it's going to go from there and build me that scaffolding quiz like I specifically asked.
Yeah.
Right. So here's my recall, which we talked about this week a lot. Here's recall again, and it's even, putting the levels there because of how I coded it. So
freaking cool.
moving through understanding, then it should go through application. Yep, there it is. And, now I can really go through what I expect. Now I will add this to, do not provide expected answers.
That's like the
Provide
teacher guide.
feedback to the user after they have answered questions, right? So that'll update the prompts, but that's how I would probably do this. and do it in real time. I mean, we did it in less than an hour.
That's unbelievable, Wendy.
So freaking cool.
So
This is why I've been wanting to do this for so long. I think it's really critical that people see that people that have engaged and have been excited about this kind of stuff and have figured out how to talk to these AI tools. These are the types of things that you can do. It's so awesome.
And just as a reminder for clarity, so everybody knows, we literally put the Hack-A-Thon, I put the Hack-A-Thon challenge into ChatGPT when we went live, like as we turned this thing on. And one of the reasons I did that is because we're running into some technical challenges around going across platforms and where we're doing with Restream and all that other kind of stuff. So I put it in live. Didn't like the first version because it had APIs into it. And I thought, the API stuff is going to throw things off. It just sounded a little bit too technical. So I said, don't include APIs, and redid it, and then dropped a copy and paste into our Slack instance. And Wendy and Craig were able to build. I showed you what Claude did in that instance. And again, there was no other keystroke for me other than help me win this challenge. And it's the thing that the thing that I would like, I hope that folks take away from this, beyond all the other stuff that we've been talking about, is you can apply your expertise, your knowledge and experience to this environment and help people use these tools to go a lot faster. Like, Wendy knows, based on her experience, what things to put in there to help make sure that the outputs align with what she would expect around instructional design rigor, or something that's a bit something that this is something that you can do as experts. Use the tools. Just use the tools. Brent, what were some of your takeaways? Like, what'd you get out of this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, that this is possible, that all of this is, I mean, and I've always known that this is why I wanted to do this, is because I've watched my son build an application without knowing anything about anything. And I've watched other people do it, and everybody is reading all of the things that people are saying online. I'm sure you're all seeing the same stuff we're seeing on LinkedIn, on everything else. And it's like, okay, would everybody just shut up, and will you guys all show us what the heck you're talking about? And so I got sick of waiting, and that's when Mike and I were like, we got to do this. We just have to do kind of a challenge, a hackathon thing, whatever you want to call it. We have to get people in to the live stream and just do it and show people what can be done. So that's my favorite part, is just the fact that we have such awesome participants. And Wendy and Craig, again, thanks for doing this and showing what can be done. And hopefully people will watch this and things will start to click. All of the things that you're reading online that may be confusing to you, that may seem overwhelming because you don't understand, watching this hopefully will help people go, oh, I can just open up Claude Code, say, hey, I'm doing this stupid thing. You don't have to be a prompt engineer. You'll notice, by the way, that Mike didn't type out a massive prompt. So all these people that are telling you have to be a prompt engineer and you have to take these courses and these workshops to figure this stuff out. No, you just need to get in there and start talking to the AI and tell it what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Claude thought it was exciting that Mike is doing a challenge. And it asked it questions, and Wendy jumped in and said, hey, here's all this stuff. Well, now Wendy's a much more structurally oriented. She's got sort of an engineering architect mind. And so she approached it a little bit differently. And so she did type in a whole bunch of stuff that she wanted, and she was very specific. I'm not saying you can't do that, but I'm saying that I think for the majority of people that don't think like Wendy, that maybe think more like Mike, you can get in there and ask it questions and make it do things. That's the part that's really exciting.
This is my call out for Craig. I know he's not here, but maybe he'll come back later. I'll post this in Slack. So for our visual learners out there.
That is awesome.
Oh my gosh, Wendy, you are the greatest.
That's awesome.
So it, as you've been talking, right, I've just been continuing to play with it and to see how it does. And it was specific, it asked me what grade. I told it I just wanted summary notes. And then I thought to myself, I'm not going to read that. So instead of reading the summary notes, create me an image that, recap these concepts. That's not even politically, grammatically correct. So why not? And then it did it, and it's beautiful. And I could totally take that to my 8-year-old and say, hey, honey, let's talk about, spatial relativity, because she has been talking about that lately. So,
and what's awesome is you didn't have to go into PowerPoint and create individual colored boxes and then
Go find some
different
clipboard
gradients to help move along the scale and all of that other kind of stuff. It just did. And it's and again, want to thank Katie too for all of the comments going back and forth inside LinkedIn. I know I've not been sharing them inside the live stream. Typically, we'll share those comments in the live stream when Brent and I do the morning show at 6:00 Mountain, Monday through Thursday, 8:00 Eastern, Monday through Thursday, and that's it live both on LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Facebook, all the places. Like if you want to hear a couple of old guys shout at clouds, have a little bit of fun as we go through that is, you can see us there on Monday through Thursday. Wendy, you were awesome. Thank you very much. Brent,
thank you.
You're pretty awesome too for doing this while you're traveling and making sure that the timing worked out. I say we do this again, and I think this was enough fun that I think a monthly version of this might be really cool.
Absolutely, without question. And let's just keep it consistent. We'll just do it on the I don't know, second Wednesday of every month. How does that sound? Or is this the third Wednesday?
This is the third, but.
Yeah, let's be careful. We'll do it monthly. We'll kind of figure out a cadence on that. Sometimes travel gets in. This is one of those where I prefer to be at home when we're doing it. The other stuff, it's a little bit more flexible. Plus, we're also looking, maybe the next challenge that we're going to actually throw out there is give us a better live stream tool that allows real-time interaction with no lag, and
maybe it'll code a custom live streaming tool for us. I don't know.
Live streaming tool. Yeah. And so Katie, the beauty of the live stream is it is recorded, and it is, I know it's tough, I know that's an early morning, it just ends up working for us from a time frame perspective. This one a little bit later that we do on the monthly basis will always be a little bit later. It'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah. And just Katie, just so you know, since Mike and I are in Arizona, in a few weeks, he and I are going to be on California time. So instead of it being 5 a.m. for you, it'll be 6 a.m. for you. So if that's a little bit better.
Oh, we're going to make everybody change with our time. This is like, hey, if
well, I'm not doing this at 5 a.m. I'm with Katie on this. I'm not waking up at 4:30 to get ready for a 5 a.m. live stream.
Right. Sounds like Brent and I may have a little debate around how we. We'll do that. We'll do that. We may make it a public debate. We'll see what ends up happening.
I have posted this version in this wherever that is, Slack channel. So if you guys want to go critique it, play with it, tell me what doesn't work, I can come back in and edit it, as appropriate. So it was great fun. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you for inviting me to do this.
Thanks for doing it. I love the icon that you've got in here. Like this is awesome. This is really good stuff. All right.
We'll see you in the morning.
Everybody have a great one. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks, everybody.